Hey guys, what's going on? It's DaleyGaming here, and today we are going to be going over the top 5 best Men of War games of all time. Let's get right into it. Starting off at number 5, we have Men of War Condemned Heroes. Men of War Condemned Heroes is about the infamous Soviet penal units during World War II. They consisted of court-martialed officers who were given this chance to redeem their crimes. These units are surrounded by many myths, and this game tries to give the truth from former members. Although it is a cool concept, it is one of the weaker Men of War campaigns. I think the missions are just okay and kind of generic for the game. Don't buy this game for the multiplayer, since GameSpy servers have all been shut down, and that will be a reoccurring theme throughout this because many Men of War games used GameSpy, and I'll let you know which games work and which don't. Overall, this game is one of the hardest in the series, and should only be purchased if you've already played and enjoyed previous Men of War games, but other than that, it's definitely not the best one to start off, and it's definitely the weakest title in this series, I think. Now at number 4, we have Men of War Vietnam. Men of War Vietnam has a story-driven campaign that lets you taste the explosive mix of the jungle, Hueys, and rock and roll in the 1960s. The US campaign focuses on a team of elite special operations soldiers, and each one of them has their own unique personality. This game is extraordinarily difficult. The AI is too OP, the bugs make things even harder, and the enemy is just way too overwhelming for the amount of soldiers you get. All that on top of the small squad tactics, where one slip up can cost a mission, makes this game quite frustrating. It's less difficult and more frustrating. Um, the difficulty leads to frustration. It's not the kind of difficulty where you want to come back for more just to beat it. Um, it is only above Condemned Heroes on this list due to its interesting and unique era, as well as its awesome soundtrack. It is important to note that this game's multiplayer servers are also down, similar to Condemned Heroes. At the number 3 spot on this list, we have Men of War Red Tide. Men of War Red Tide is the sequel to the original Men of War game. It introduces a new story-driven campaign based on the writing of Soviet scribe Alexander Zorich. There are 23 missions that include Soviet, German, Romanian, and Italian forces, making this game have different variety than the standards in the franchise. This game has the typical Men of War challenge to it, but it's not frustrating like Condemned Heroes or Vietnam. I find myself coming back to this campaign all the time just trying to beat the missions. I actually got stuck on the second mission for like a solid month, and I ended up sinking a ton of hours into it, and I don't know why I had so much trouble with this one mission, but finally beating it was one of the most rewarding things ever. The downsides to this are that there is no editor or multiplayer for this title, but the multiplayer wouldn't matter either way. Alright, at the number 2 spot on this list, we have the original Men of War. The original Men of War's campaign is the best of the series. It takes place during the height of World War II. Intense battles span Europe and North Africa as gamers play as the Soviet, Allied, or German forces across 19 massive missions. The stories in this campaign are gripping and the missions themselves are amazing, especially the multitude of defense missions that are available. Sadly, the graphics and controls are a little dated, as well as the multiplayer being no longer available due to GameSpy. Now, you can actually play the Men of War Origins campaign, which is the exact same thing on Men of War Assault Squad 2, and you'll have updated graphics and controls, so I'd highly recommend doing that instead of just buying the original. Although the original is a little cheaper, so if you're looking to save some money, you can always do that and still have a great time. And finally, at the number 1 spot on this list, we have Men of War Assault Squad 1 and 2, which are essentially the same games, so I sort of combine them together. The Assault Squad series is all around the best of the series, in my opinion. Starting with the campaign, it's not very interesting, which is a rough start to trying to convince you guys that's the best of the series. Once you've played one mission, then you've kind of played them all. They're quite bland and repetitive, pretty much just trying to skirmish and things like that. It's not very fun. But the multiplayer, however, is extremely fun. The matches are competitive and thrilling, making you want to keep going back and playing more and more of them. The mods for this game are also amazing. They're extremely well made and have huge variety across them. There are Star Wars mods, modern mods, Warhammer mods, tons and tons more. I do have a top 10 Men of War mods video out if you'd like to go ahead and check that out. Some of these mods even support multiplayer, which is kind of rare, where you can fight with entirely new units against your friends or random opponents, things like that. The mods are what really has kept this series alive in the long run. Uh, the editor is also a huge draw for this game. Being able to create your own missions and battles is extremely easy and fun. And this is also where mods come in because you don't have to just do World War II editor battles. You can do Star Wars ones and stuff like that, which I have thousands of on my channel. They are so fun. It's such a great game, and I would argue the best in the series, just not for the campaign. But if you do get Men of War Origins for this game, then yes for the campaign, because that is definitely the best campaign of the entire series. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Remember, this is my personal opinion, so yours may differ from mine. If you did like the video, that'd be great. And also subscribe and comment and all those good things. By the way, link to my Discord and Patreon and all sorts of things in the description if you'd like to check that out. I hope you had a great time, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace.